I want to take the derivative of y equals x squared times the quantity 2x minus 1 cubed all over x squared plus 3 all to the fourth power. So here we're going to have to use the quotient rule as well as the product rule and the chain rule. So what we're going to do is first I use the quotient rule, so we're going to say u prime v minus v prime u over v squared, and then for the product rule it's going to be u prime v plus v prime u. Okay, so the first thing we're going to focus on is the u prime, so the derivative of the top, in other words. So the derivative of the top, so first we're going to take the derivative of x squared times 2x minus 1 cubed plus the derivative of 2x minus 1 cubed is 3 times 2x minus 1 squared, and chain rule says take the derivative of the inside, which is 2. Okay, so that's the derivative of 2x minus 1 cubed, and we're going to multiply that by x squared. Okay, so that completes the product rule for the top, and then we're multiplying that by the bottom, so that'd be x squared plus 3 to the fourth. Okay, so we've done that. Minus, now we're going to take the derivative of v. So taking the derivative of the denominator, so that one is going to involve the chain rule. We're going to bring the exponent down, keep the inside the same, subtract 1 in the exponent, and then take the derivative of the inside. Okay, so that's v prime, and then we're going to multiply by u, which is x squared times 2x minus 1 cubed. Okay. And then we're going to divide all that by the denominator squared. So it's going to be something to the fourth squared. You just multiply the exponents, right? So if it's like x to the fourth squared, you multiply the exponents to get x to the eighth. And now we have to simplify this. Let's see. First, we'll focus here. So we have a 3, a 2, and an x squared. So we'll clean that up. So that would just be 2x times 2x minus 1 cubed. And then we're going to multiply those, so it's going to be 6x squared times 2x minus 1 squared times x squared plus 3 to the fourth minus, and now we're going to simplify this thing, so we have 4 and x squared and 2x, so that would be 8x cubed and x squared plus 3 cubed 2x minus 1 cubed, and it's going to be all over x squared plus 3 to the eighth. And the next thing is to identify what they all have in common. Well, before we do that, why don't we factor out something from here? So they both have a 2x minus 1. So it's really a matter of factoring out the cube or the square. We're going to choose a smaller one, so we'll factor out the square. Now they have a 2x and a 6x squared, so what they have in common there is 2x. And then they all share x squared plus 3 to the fourth. So let's see what's left. For the first one, I have 2x, 2x minus 1 cubed, but I factor out a square, so that means I need another copy of 2x minus 1. And then the next one, I have 6x squared, but I have 2x outside, so that means I need another 3x. And then I'm going to leave everything else the same. Okay, can simplify what's in the parentheses now. So I have 2x and 3x will give me 5x. Okay, so let's fix that. So it's 5x minus 1. Okay, and then we'll just rewrite everything else. The next thing is to look at the top two factors, or top two terms from the numerator. Okay, let's see what they have in common. This is a 2x, this is 8x cubed. So they both have a factor of 2 and an x. Okay, next, 2x minus 1 squared, 2x minus 1 cubed. Pick the smaller one, it's 2x minus 1 squared. X squared plus 3 to the fourth, x squared plus 3 to the third. Pick the smaller one, that's the cubed. Okay, now what's left for the first term is a x squared plus 3, and then 5x minus 1. And then from the second term, let's see, we have, so 2x, what multiplies 2x to get 8x cubed? That's 4x squared. And then we have x squared plus 3 cubed already factored. And then we need another factor of 2x minus 1. Okay, so we're going to keep simplifying. So we're going to distribute out this, so we're going to FOIL it out. I'm going to rewrite it on the bottom here. So that will be 5x cubed minus x squared plus 15x minus 3. And then minus, so I'm going to keep the negative outside, and I'm going to factor or distribute the 4x squared. So that would be 8x cubed minus 4x squared. Okay, so let's see. So let's rewrite this now. And actually, before I write this, I have x squared plus 3 cubed, x squared plus 3 to the 8th. I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to subtract 3 from the exponent. So that's going to be to the 5th power. So let's see. Now, let's simplify what was in the parentheses. I have 5x cubed minus 8x cubed. So that's going to be negative 3x cubed. Negative x squared minus negative 4x squared. That's going to give me 3x squared. And I have 15x minus 3. In the denominator, I have x squared plus 3 raised to the 5th power. And let's see here. They all have a factor of 3. And that's most likely the best I can do. But yeah, I think that's optional if you want. So I'll just do it. So I'll pull out a 3. So that would be 6x times 2x minus 1 squared times negative x cubed plus x squared plus 5x minus 1 all over x squared plus 3 raised to the 5th power. And that is our derivative. Okay. Okay, let's look at another one. I'm given g of x is equal to 1 over x times the square root of x squared plus 1. So this one, we can use the product rule, just the product rule and chain rule, or we can use the quotient rule, product rule, and chain rule altogether. So we're going to try to use all three of the rules. Okay, so let's see. It might be better just to rewrite this as 1 over x times quantity x squared plus 1 to the 1/2. And we're going to take the derivative. So we're going to use the quotient rule first. So we're going to take the derivative of the top, which that's just 0, right? Derivative of 1 is 0, times the bottom, which here, again, you don't need to write this out because it's just going to cancel, minus the derivative of the bottom. So what's a derivative of x times the square root of x squared plus 1? In this one, we need to use the product rule and the chain rule. So we're first going to take the derivative of x, which is 1, times x squared plus 1 to the 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to put this in parentheses, plus the derivative of x squared plus 1 to the 1/2. You bring down the power, subtract 1, and then you take the derivative of the inside, which is 2x, times x, which is this guy right here, times the first. Okay. All over the denominator squared. Oops. Okay. So let's see, this goes away. I have this 2 going away as well. Okay, so I have a negative outside, so I'm just going to factor it out. Okay, I have x squared plus 1 to the 1/2, but x squared plus 1 to the negative 1/2. I'm going to pull out the 1 with the smallest exponent, so that'll be the negative 1/2. And I'm left with x squared plus 1, and I have x times x here is x squared, so that's plus x squared all over. Okay, this exponent now is going to distribute. It's going to be on top of the x and the 1/2 here. So that's going to be x squared. And because we're going to have 1/2 to the second power, we're going to end up multiplying those two exponents, and they're going to cancel. So it'll just be x squared plus 1. Okay, this negative 1/2 is going to come on the bottom. So we can think of this as just 1 to the 1 power. So we're going to end up bringing this down here as x squared plus 1 to the positive 1/2. And then they both have the same base. So we're just going to add the exponent there. So that'll just be x squared plus 1 to the 3/2 power. And have the x squared in front. So this thing is gone. We moved it. We have the negative still. And we're going to add x squared plus x squared is 2x squared. And then we're going to have 1. And that is our final answer.